The ACLJ is filing a major lawsuit against President Biden and his administration. We've been warning you of the deep state corruption. We've been talking about it all week and weeks on this broadcast on Sekulow, and how the deep state bureaucracy is, as you know, it's in the back pocket of the left. They basically work in tandem. It's like an appendage of the Democrat Party now. And that's a very, again, dangerous thing in our country. And how they put their foot on the scale of justice when it comes to conservatives and how they treat conservatives. We talked about the dual systems of justice that have arisen inside the United States of America. But now we have proof, yet again, and we're heading to federal court. When our own ACLJ Senior Advisor for National Security and Foreign Policy, you know him, Rick Grenell, left office as acting director of national intelligence. He was the ambassador to Germany, but when he left his DNI, the left in the mainstream media submitted a FOIA very broadly, which is not supposed to how FOIA is supposed to work. If we sit one this broad, it'd take a year to get a response, and the response would be this was way too broad, you have to narrow it. But this is what they wrote. A left-wing media outlet, I think it was BuzzFeed. They submitted a FOIA for all of his emails and text messages, all of them, while he was serving as Director of National Intelligence. You would think of all the people that you might not get all of their emails and text messages would be the person overseeing every U.S. intelligence department. It doesn't mean that some might be subject to FOIA. We certainly file against the intelligence community as well. But that's about the highest bar when it comes to trying to get information under the Freedom of Information Act when you're asking for it from the intel community. But in the fastest response we've ever seen, the deep state handed over every single document requested by BuzzFeed and those media outlets with minimal redactions, under a year. They never had to go to court. We always have to go to court. And so your ACLJ has submitted a FOIA request for all of the Biden DNI, Avril Haines emails about what they did in this matter. Why did they just put all of his emails forward without fighting back on any of those issues? Why didn't they say, hey, this is too broad? What actual information are you looking for about Rick Grenell when he was acting Director of National Intelligence? So, on the top of that, we have uncovered, and this is new case law in D.C., in the federal court in D.C., a new way to approach FOIAs. Folks, this is groundbreaking, so I don't want you to miss it. There is an entirely new way. It involves the violation of the First Amendment and what we've been talking about, this two systems of justice, viewpoint discrimination, treating one requester different than another, a court has found is unconstitutional. So we're going to be the first to take this directly to the federal system. We know what we're up against in Washington. I just want to say again, kudos to Ben Cisney from our team, because I think he has unlocked, and I'm not kidding about this, an entirely new way to approach FOIA. Because if you can show, and in this matter involving Rick Grenell, we can directly, that when one group asked for Rick's information when he was Director of National Intelligence, all they said was all of it, emails and text. And they got him within a year, no lawsuit. When we asked for the current ODNI's information, and you say all, we hear nothing for 2 years. Okay, we were kind of planning this. And ultimately, they would usually then write back when you file a lawsuit, which we now have, that you can't be that broad. Well, then we're going to point to the other one and say, well, why didn't you do that then? You didn't ask for them to be more specific. And by the way, this delay that you have made us incur is a violation of the First Amendment. So you've got two major problems, DNI, and you can't play politics. You can't deny us the info we're entitled to as Americans because we happen to share a different policy view than your current administration. So we are fighting back there.